I'm always thinking about this topic of paradox and how more than one thing, despite everything we're taught in a black and white thinking culture, more than one thing is very often true at the same time. So here's how I look at it, is that the whole foundation of letting the divine take the lead, you do just come to rest eventually in this place. I think, especially those of you that have been here for, some time now, you feel it. You come to start to rest in a place where you know if something is meant for you, you can't miss it. It's literally that line from the Indian saint Laleshwari, where she basically said, "Why worry? What's meant for you will always, always find you." And there's something in like the foundation of letting the divine take the lead. It's like the hugest exhale in the world. Like you can almost feel it yourself, where you just go, it's like what's meant for you will find you. So on this core level, that to me is the deepest truth. Now there's other layers to it, which I think this has all gotten very twisted in the manifesting world that makes people sort of go into that place of thinking, and every minute I have to have some fake happy face on me, or, I won't get the things my ego wants. And this really has nothing to do with any of that, because eventually with letting the divine take the lead, the attachment to getting what the ego wants starts to loosen and loosen and loosen, and that's not because desires go away, but because they soften into preferences. And so it's not about faking anything, but it's kind of just what I was talking about, like the fact that we're in a sort of Jupiter expansion cycle right now. To whatever extent you can hold an attitude of gratitude, or you can hold a positive place inside of receptivity. I think it's receptivity. It's not anything fake. It's being open to receive. It enhances things. I think this is the paradox. Yes, you can't miss what's meant for you, but you can give God a hell of a hard time trying to get you to receive. For some people, even trying to get you to receive the good. Because if someone is carrying, I used to watch it all the time when I gave readings, if someone is carrying, an incredibly deep chip on their shoulder or incredible bitterness. There used to be a woman, oh God, I read her for years, and she was a Capricorn, and she was always mad at everybody, and she was always jealous of everybody, and she was always sort of in that state of like everybody gets what they want but me. And what always kept coming up in the readings was that there was an incredibly deep need for that to begin to soften and relax. And a lot of it for her involves starting to take care of that kid inside who, for very good reasons, at a very young age, had decided, this life is a raw deal and everybody's going to get what they want but me. And that kid was still running the show. So do you see what I mean? It's like that's why we do so much work and focus on loving the inner kid, soothing her, him, helping this kid feel that they do deserve to receive, whether they felt it growing up or not. It's very important because both things coexist. Both things coexist. And I watched it with this woman. It's like, sometimes I call it the ring of fire. If you have a ring of fire around yourself like she did, it made it incredibly difficult for the good to come. She was constantly pushing it away, or even when it did come, she was thinking, well, other people got more. And I've also watched her really change over the years, like when she started to get that she was a participant in not being open to receive. And the gratitude was huge. Like the focus for her on the gratitude was absolutely huge. Like it had to be that what came, she just had to learn like from the ground up. Let me be grateful for this. Let me not be looking over my shoulder, looking to see if somebody else got more. Let me just start to be grateful for this. So you see what I mean? I think it's both things. And I know what you're saying in the letter is, wow, I'm surrounded by all this difficulty, and yet somehow, even when I'm in a crappy state, this good is coming to me. And I'm like, well, that's great. That's great. You never know the karmas that are being worked out. That's kind of how I view this. It's like everybody's story is different, and that's why it doesn't have the oversimplification that something like The Secret would say, that if you think something, it's delivered. If you ask for something, it comes in tomorrow's mail. It's nothing like that. Everybody has different karmas that they're working through, and yet the holding of a positive, receptive, grateful state where you're really loving and taking care of that kid can only enhance. So